Okonomiyaki, a dish whose name means what you like, grilled. From Osaka, in the south of Honshu, where the people of the merchant city have been folding cabbage into batter on hot iron for nearly 100 years. This is not a quick pancake. The secret is nagaimo, mountain yam, grated to a translucent paste and folded into a dashi-based batter so the interior lifts, soft as a cloud, while the pork belly above renders to gold. 40 minutes from peeling to the moment the katsuobushi flakes begin to dance. Servings 2. 20 minutes of preparation, 15 of cooking. Total time 35 minutes. 1 cup of all-purpose flour, half a cup of dashi, a quarter cup of tenkasu, the crisp tempura scraps, 1 teaspoon of aonori seaweed powder, 4 ounces of nagaimo, 1 pound of cabbage, 2 whole eggs, 2 tablespoons of beni shoga, the red pickled ginger, 6 ounces of thinly sliced pork belly, a quarter cup of katsuobushi flakes, 4 tablespoons of okonomiyaki sauce, and 2 tablespoons of Kewpie mayonnaise. Begin with the nagaimo. Peel the long, pale yam and grate it slowly against a fine Japanese grater. The flesh turns to a translucent paste, silken and faintly sticky to the touch. This is the heart of Osaka okonomiyaki. Without it, the pancake will be flat. With it, it will rise like soft bread. In a wide mixing bowl, whisk the flour and the dashi until no lumps remain. The dashi gives the batter its soul, the deep oceanic note of kombu kelp and katsuobushi smoke. Now fold the grated nagaimo into the batter, gently, preserving every pocket of air. Shred the cabbage finely, a full pound of it, into pale green ribbons. Add it to the batter, then the 2 eggs, the tenkasu, and the bright pink beni shoga. Fold. Do not stir. The cabbage is not bound by the batter. It is the dish. The batter is only the breath that holds it together. When every ribbon glistens, the okonomiyaki is ready to meet the iron. Heat a flat cast iron griddle over a medium flame and brush it with a thin film of oil. Pour the batter onto the iron, shaping it with the back of the spatula into a round disc 1 inch thick. Listen. The first whisper of sizzle, the cabbage releasing its sweetness into the steam. Lay the slices of pork belly side by side across the top of the pancake. Now, patience. 5 minutes on the first side until the bottom turns the color of dark amber. Then the flip. 2 spatulas slid beneath the disc from opposite sides, and a single decisive turn. The pork side now meeting the iron. 5 minutes more. The fat renders, the pork crisps. Flip once more. Pork side up. Brush generously with the dark, fruit-sweet okonomiyaki sauce. Then the Kewpie mayonnaise, drawn in a zigzag of cream across the lacquered top. A dusting of Aonori seaweed, bright green, almost violet. And then the handful of katsuo bushi flakes that begin to curl and dance in the rising heat. History and cultural origins. The ancestor of okonomiyaki is older than its name. In the Edo period, a temple sweet called funoyaki, thin wheat crepes brushed with miso, was eaten as ceremonial food. By the 1800s in Tokyo, a children's snack called monjayaki spread the idea south. By the early 1900s, it had reached the streets of Osaka, where the pancake began to thicken and to grow. The mountain yam nagaimo has grown wild across the forests of Japan for at least 2,000 years. The Ainu people of Hokkaido knew it as yamaimo. They dug it from the slopes in autumn, for stamina, for healing, for the long winters. It is the secret ingredient that lifts every great Osaka okonomiyaki. No other starch will do the same work. Then came the war. After 1945, rice was rationed. Wheat flour sent in by the Americans was plentiful. Cabbage was cheap. Pork, when you could find it, stretched far. The okonomiyaki of post-war Osaka was born from this. A pancake built around what the city had, not what it wished for. By the 1950s, the dish had its modern shape. By the 1970s, the teppan counters had filled every Osaka backstreet. In Osaka today, okonomiyaki is not formal food. It is shared food. It is cooked at home on weekend evenings, on small iron griddles set in the center of the table. It is the dish for hanami, the cherry blossom viewing in spring, for Natsu Matsuri, the summer festivals, for the long winter night when friends gather close to the warm iron. The teppan is a kind of hearth, the okonomiyaki, a kind of conversation. Slide the okonomiyaki, still hissing, onto a warm plate. The katsuobushi flakes will move with the rising steam. Pale pink waves, alive in the candlelight. There is no one way to eat it. There never was. Cut a wedge with the side of the spatula. Lift it. Taste the sweet cabbage, the smoky pork, the salt-sweet sauce, the breath of the sea in the dashi. Okonomiyaki is the rarest kind of recipe, one that has survived war, scarcity, and the long century of change. It survives because it was never trying to be impressive. It was only trying to feed the people who loved it. And the table, at last, is set